Hey everyone, I'm the Rev. Excuse the voice, I'm carrying a bit of a cold. But in this video, I'm going to point you in the direction of a custom force feedback profile that will hopefully really improve your Automobilista 2 experience. First of all, I'm going to tell you why, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to go through the installation process in all my Automobilista 2 settings. Now the first thing to point out is that force feedback is an incredibly subjective thing. I can sit here and tell you that this feels fantastic, but to you, on your kit and your perception, you could come back kicking off telling me, Rev, you're full of it. What I can tell you though is that I have 191 hours using my old force feedback profile, and this new file to me felt like a massive upgrade. So those of you who aren't aware, on Automobilista 2 you can use a custom force feedback profile. These are files that are made and tested by the community with the hope of improving the force feedback feel on the whole. I have used the same force feedback profile from day one with Automobilista 2. I was recommended it early and I was happy to stick with it, as I've never really had any complaints at all regarding the force feedback. All these sims feel different, they all have their own feel, and Automobilista 2 was no different. However, the change I felt when switching to this new file was immediate. From the first few corners, I knew that this force feedback profile was better. It offered more detail, more information, and it felt more what I would perceive to be realistic. The information aspect was huge. I was getting more information back in terms of the road surface, what the tyres were doing, and where the weight was shifting on the car. The road detail itself, well, at first it felt almost overly exaggerated, so I turned that down a little bit in my Fanatec settings. Before making this video, I tested many cars and track combinations. I tested different drivetrains, different classes, and even different weather conditions, so that I knew I could report back to you that the difference was there across the board. All the footage you can see playing in the background was from those tests. I was happy to say that the improvements were felt across the board. I didn't have an issue with the feedback before, but wow, this was a considerable improvement. And I do have to tell you just how good it was to drive all these different cars for the test. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed feeling the difference of the different cars, the different tracks, in all the different conditions. It was great fun. Really enjoyed making this video. So I've told you why, so now I'll tell you how, and I'll show you my settings so hopefully you can replicate this for yourself. So the file itself can be downloaded from the link in the video description. It's on the Riser forums and it's made by Daniel Kart. Now the forum post contains a list of all the supported wheelbases, and you just need to download either file 1 or file 2 depending on which wheelbase you have. So once you've downloaded the file that corresponds to your particular wheelbase, you're ready to go. Now all you need to do is locate the Automobilista 2 folder that's in your documents under Windows. Once you're in there, you can see the force feedback _custom settings. Now, I would rename the file that's already in there. That way then, if you don't like this file, it's dead easy just to go back to the force feedback that you had before. So once you've renamed that file, copy the file that you've downloaded in to the Documents Automobilista 2 folder. Once it's in there, we're ready to launch Automobilista 2. Once you're in there, all you need to do is go to Controls, over to Force Feedback, and under the heading Type, make sure that it's set to Custom. Now the rest of my force feedback settings, they're on the screen now, so you can pause the video and use those settings should you have a similar wheelbase to me. Now other than the force feedback settings, I'm also going to show you my camera settings. Again, you can pause the video and use these settings. Now I don't take any credit for these are from Mike from SimRacing604, copied straight from his video, which I'll link in the video description. These are fantastic settings and these certainly help me get a better feel on Automobilista 2. So the only thing that's left to show you now is my Fanatec settings. They're on the screen now. Once again, pause the video and set those if you have a similar wheelbase to mine. And with that was the force feedback on Automobilista 2 transformed for me. Much better. Really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it too. If you enjoy what I do on the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button, as it would massively help me out. A huge thank you to Daniel Kart for creating the force feedback profile. It's fantastic, and a massive thank you to you guys for pointing me in the direction of this file. As always, I've been the Reverend. Thank you very much for watching.